everyone, welcome to the Captain Drone YouTube channel. My name is Steve and today I have a balsa wood plane that I have to assemble before I go fly it. I'm pretty excited because when I was a little kid, I am a baby boomer, so when I was a little kid and I went to my little field, anybody who was flying RC planes was flying balsa wood planes. Today, 90% of the planes you buy are pretty much made of foam, and I love foam planes because when you destroy them, you just glue them back together and they're good to fly again, and they're easy to assemble. However, this is balsa wood and it's a kit that's supposed to be easy to assemble, so I'm going to find that out here. So over here is the name of the company that makes this, Dancing Wings Hobby. They're very popular in the RC plane hobby, and they call this model, I have to look up here, the TCG07, and it's named the Vogee 10. So I'm going to open it up really quick and see what's inside, and then I'm going to assemble it. So you can see inside the fuselage, it's all balsa wood, and it does have that beautiful covering on. I don't know what they call that in the balsa wood hobby, but it's beautiful! And it also comes with the metal push rods for your servos. So from the nose to the tail, it is 35 inches in length. So in this next box, we have a ton of stickers, and there's the name of the plane right there. All of these stickers I have to stick on the fuselage and the wings. Oh my God, there's a lot of stickers. Look at the wings, look at that. I love the translucent cover on the wings. You can just see the balsa wood right through them. That is nice. The great thing with building planes is you can add lights, anything you want to the plane because you're building it. Looks like I have a bag here of the landing gear plus a lot of the hardware. This bag contains the 9 servos. You get 9 servos with it. All the wiring, the motor, the brushless motor is in there. And yeah, all the little connectors that go on top. Oh, and the ESC's in there, and all the little connectors that go in the servos. In this bag here, I have the vertical and horizontal stabilizers. I get one propeller, and the propeller is 9x6 counterclockwise. I get an aluminum landing gear. This is pretty good, so that's going to keep it pretty sturdy. And finally, I get a set of instructions, and they're the simple type of instructions. So very easy for me to assemble this, I would think, anyways. So with these 2 wings put together, the wingspan on this thing is 42 inches. So one of the great things with a kit like this is that if you have kids, you build them, they look great, and then you go fly them. It's awesome. Now to build a plane like this, for somebody like me who's new at building a balsa wood plane, well, I'm just going to use either one of these. So I'll use some wood glue. This is Gorilla wood glue, and it will work fine. Or I could use CA glue. That would work fine too. But I think what I'm probably going to use is what I use for almost everything I build in the hobby, and that is I use a glue gun and glue sticks, and it works well. The only problem with a glue gun and glue sticks is it could be a little bit messy compared to someone who is much better at this, and they just want to make it look less messy. But I've become pretty good with a glue gun over the years, so I think I can put it together somewhat not messy. Now you will need to power this, and the ESC says it runs on a 2S or 3S battery, so I'm going to run it on this 3S battery. It's 3S 2200 milliamp hour LIPO battery Gen Z, so it should be more than sufficient for this, and I should get a long flight time with a plane like this because balsa wood planes are very light and they fly for a long time. For a receiver, I'm going to use a Spectrum receiver like this. I buy mine off of Amazon in Canada. They're about $40 in Canada. In the US, I don't know what they are. And the reason I'm using the Spectrum receiver is because I have a Spectrum radio. When I fly RC planes, I like Spectrum radios because it takes me seconds to set up a new model in here and a new plane and go fly. It's very simple. So the next thing I'll show you is me assembling this, then putting in a receiver, setting up with my radio really quick, and then taking it out for a flight. Here we go. We'll begin with the aluminum landing gear. Slide a bolt through one end, slide a wheel over the bolt, and then tighten it in place with a nut. Do the same for the other wheel. Now attach the landing gear to the fuselage and secure in place with the included 6 screws. Now it's time to install the horizontal stabilizer, but we have to make sure it's exactly straight. Therefore, put it in position and then mark the position. With the position marked, you now know which portion of the film to remove. The reason you're removing the film is because you want glue to be touching wood, not glue to be touching film. Add some glue to the horizontal stabilizer, then slide it into position and let the glue dry. Now it's time to install the vertical stabilizer. Add some glue to both sides, then push the vertical stabilizer into position. Double check that your horizontal and vertical stabilizer are perfectly aligned. Now we can add the tail wheel, so add the tail wheel to the tail wheel assembly. Lock the wheel in place by tightening the grub screw as shown here. The tail wheel assembly slides into a hole on the rudder as shown here. Push the tail wheel assembly into the rudder. Next, you have to add hinges to the rudder. Your kit will come with nylon hinges or paper hinges. Use a sharp knife to create a hole, then slide the hinge in and glue in place. You will probably need to make holes in the vertical stabilizer so that you can push the hinges into it and then glue those hinges into position. Now you can secure the landing wheel assembly to the fuselage using the included screws. You will need to install and glue hinges into the elevator, then secure those hinges into the horizontal stabilizer with glue. When completed, your rudder and your elevator should move freely. Next, the control horn needs to be attached to the rudder. As you can see here, all control horns that you will install require 2 screws, and those 2 screws must go into a backing plate, as you can see here as well. A control horn also needs to be installed on the elevator with the backing plate. Insert one of those long metal rods into the fuselage and attach the other end to the control horn on the rudder. Insert the second long metal rod into the fuselage and attach the control horn to the elevator. You'll note that the long metal rods going to the elevator and rudder that are in the fuselage are actually in tubes. The tubes hold the metal rods into position because eventually you're going to attach a servo to those metal rods. And speaking of servos, now's the time to find them in your kit. To install one of the servos, simply pass the wire through the fuselage. You'll need to position 2 servos, and when done it should look like this. Notice the wires go under and up. You'll need to add this metal locking device to each of the servo horns. Then place the servo horn on the servo screwed in position, slide the metal rod through the end, lock that into position, and you're pretty much all set. Do the same for the other servo. To install the brushless motor and the ESC, we might need access from the bottom, so open the battery bay hatch. For reference, your ESC looks like this. And of course, your brushless motor looks like this. Take your motor and position it in the nose. You then lock it into position with the 4 included screws. The motor has 3 wires coming off it, and the ESC has 3 wires. You just need to attach the 3 wires to the 3 wires. If you connect the wires wrong, no worries, the motor will just spin backwards. You'll know that when you start everything up. All you do then is reverse the wires. Next, it's time to move on to the main wings and install a servo in this hole. Pass the wire through the hole and out the other side of the wing. Then install the servo and lock it in position. Do this for the other wing as well. You will need to install a control horn to the aileron with the backing plate and 2 screws. In addition, using whatever hinges came in your kit, install the hinges into the aileron, then install the aileron into the wing. Make sure the hinges are all glued into position. Here we have a completed wing. You can see the metal rod is attached to the servo and attached to the control horn, and everything is working as it should. To connect the main wings together, you will need to glue this joiner piece in between the main wings. Then once that's done, you can glue the main wings together. Once everything's glued, it should look like this. The main wings simply attach to the main fuselage by sliding that peg into a hole in the forward section of the main fuselage. The wings can then be easily locked into position using this bracket and 2 bolts. Before you secure the main wings, you first need to add a receiver. I'll only be using 4 channels on this 6-channel receiver because I only need to add throttle, ailerons, elevator, and rudder. In order to add the ailerons to my receiver, I first need to connect the Y connector to each of the aileron servo leads. And now I can connect my ailerons to my receiver. To ensure your propeller has a good fit on the electric motor, you can add these little plastic collars to it. To install the propeller, first install this locking shaft over the existing shaft. Then add your propeller, ensuring the righting is facing outwards. Then add the prop nut and tighten everything securely into place. Now it's time to install all the stickers. I just looked at any pictures of the plane that I could find and matched up the stickers in that orientation. With your receiver attached, check the movements of your elevator and rudder, as well as your ailerons and motor. Ensure the propeller is turning in the correct direction with the wind blowing to the rear. At this point, your plane is essentially ready for its maiden flight, so take it out to the field, have a blast. All right, we're out at my lovely field and everything is soaking wet, but it is really warm today. You know my runway over there behind me? I've walked on it. Check out my footprints. It's just mud and everything. So I'm going to try to take off from the grass. I don't know if it's going to work because the grass is soaking wet. The wheels might get stuck and it might nose over, and hopefully I don't destroy the prop. Anyways, we'll try it. I put little blinky lights on the plane because when I came out earlier this morning, it was kind of dull, dark. So I thought, well, I want to see the plane, the wings and stuff. I don't know how it's going to fly, so I put blinky lights. They don't don't add a lot of weight. I am going to put a little Insta360 Go-To camera on top so you can see where the nose is going as we're flying around here. I don't expect it to fly super fast. It is balsa, and balsa wood planes tend to float and they fly lovely. So I assume it will fly lovely. Well, let's go try it. So this plane is designed to put the battery in the bottom. And a lot of planes that are kit planes often have that in the bottom. I don't know why, but they do. Oh, one thing that's beautiful, look at the bottom of this plane. I just love how you can see all the balsa wood and everything else. It's gorgeous. It is simply gorgeous. So it comes with this little latch system on the balsa wood door. Just pull that off and take that off. And then we're going to attach our battery. I'm going to shove the battery in. Should fit in there nicely. It's beeping because I haven't connected my radio yet. Hang on a sec. All right, let's get the battery in, strap it in there as best we can, and we'll put the cover back on. There we go. And I'll just connect my radio and we'll be set to fly. Okay, before we go fly, let's check ailerons. Well, I see ailerons, they work. Elevator, yeah, elevator's good, and rudder. There we are, we're all set. All right, gotta miss that big bump over there. Okay, full power. Get up. Whoa, it almost hit my camera. Okay, full power. Get up. Whoa, it almost hit my camera. Holy crap. That was insane. There we go. I just wanted to make sure it flies because, you know, I just built this out of a kit, so I just want to make sure it flies, and it flies. It's going. It does need some trimming. I haven't done any trimming on it, but yeah, it needs some trimming. So, coming over a few times. There we go. All right. There we are. So let's bring it really close to us, going over top.
Time remaining 4 minutes.
There it is. Can you see it? I don't want to stall it. It looks pretty cool. Looks pretty cool. All right, here we go. Let's bring it on this side. Whoa, get out of the way. Whoa, get through those goalposts. That's pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna bring it down for a landing. I just wanted to see if it flew after the kit was built. There we go. All right, so let's bring it on down. How does it fly, you're probably wondering? Well, there is some wind now, so the wind is pushing it around a little bit because it is balsa, but yeah, it seems to fly okay. The only thing I need is more up elevator because I'm really pushing the up elevator. It could be my camera I stuck up top. It's probably too nose heavy. So it means when I land it, I gotta give it full up elevator to land it with less throttle. So here, let's bring it around. You'll see what I mean. I'm coming at me to land it here. And there we go. So I'll kill the throttle. I'll let it glide. Let it glide. Up elevator. Look at that, beautiful. Either I'm the luckiest man in the world or I have pilot skills, but yeah, that flew. I think what happened is, if I look here, oh, I can already see it. I must have knocked my trim off. Look at my elevator, it's a little bit down. There's my problem. See the elevator, it's down. So the elevator should sit like this. The trim should have been more like that. It needs a little bit of up elevator. So I must have knocked it when it was in my car and I put it out of whack. So that was my very first balsa wood kit plane that I've ever assembled that was all in pieces like that. So I'm pretty impressed that it flew as well as it did, and I saw my mistake with the elevator. I should have checked that before I took off to make sure the neutral was actually sitting neutral, and yeah, it would have flew better, especially with the camera up front. But all in all, it did, like I said, it just flew. Balsa wood planes, they just glide everywhere. They just fly so nice. They take off and land nicely. I was surprised I almost hit my camera on takeoff because it wasn't going up. But then it got enough speed and it went up, and it just missed it. So hopefully you saw that in the camera. All right, so this is going to end the video. I'm going to put a link to this product. You can buy it in 2 formats. One, you can buy it if you already own all the electronics. It's very inexpensive that way. Or you can buy the kit version that I have here that I showed you that comes with all the electronics. It's a little bit more expensive. Cool thing in the RC hobby is if you have a lot of old RC planes that maybe you've crashed, I don't know, 100 times and you don't want to put them together anymore, you just pull all the servos out, all the electronics, the ESC and the motor, and you might have a big box of all those components. So you can buy planes like this and you put all those components in a plane like this and you go fly again. That's the great thing in the RC plane hobby. So with all that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and I'll catch you in a future video with many more reviews. Until then, I say bye.